Sotiris, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It's massively appreciated on my end.
Thank you very much also for the support.
No problem, no problem. We're obviously on the long and winding path to the release of your brand new album, Modern Primitive. It's been, it's been nearly 5 years since the release of Codex Omega, and the world has changed somewhat since then.
Dramatically.
Yeah, dramatically. What's the difference mentally, I guess, about Septicflesh this time around, if anything at all?
Well, of course, there is difference in the whole world. There is a difference. Mainly, I can say that we learn to live in a new way, all of us, a way that is less human, less human contact, more being in our homes and communicating through technology. It's the next step of evolution, unfortunately, and the COVID situation speed up this evolution, this kind of new world, and so everybody is affected. Also, as musicians, of course, we were affected because when you are living historic moments, historic time, there is a lot of info to be absorbed for all the aspects of art, lyrically and of course musically, and so eventually everybody is affected, and we as a band were affected from the situation, and the new album, I think, reflects this point in time.
So those past few years, you say that the 2 odd years to 3 years that we've kind of been living in this situation, that effect on Septicflesh, you said it, obviously it did have some effect on it. Do you think you've kind of come through this period, as far as we are now, stronger and better than you were effectively before we entered it because of all those changes?
Yes, because it is a matter of our mentality. Everything is about making decisions, how to handle things that were not handled before. So in this situation that we're facing right now, we had to make a lot of decisions. We had to be stronger, to become stronger. And that was a mindset, you can say, because it depends. Some people may just say that things are going worse and stuff like that. Other people can reflect about what is going bad and try to fix it, and go on with their lives and try to make the best of what they have. Because actually we believe that everything is built upon now, the moment. The moment is really precious, and in under no circumstances you don't have to waste it. So you have to use it the best possible way, because it's the only sure thing that you have. So this is what we actually did. We used whatever means we had at our disposal at the specific time. We tried to avoid problems and rescheduled everything as it made fit well to produce what we wanted. We didn't rush things because we never believe on rushing things. We just accepted the reality as it goes, and that's why it took so long, you know, to make the new album, because it was recorded in phases, not straight away. But we used this delay, you can say, for our advantage.
Yeah.
So we have a stronger result, and we became stronger also.
That's one of the most consistent things I hear from all bands and artists when talking about work that was created or worked on during the pandemic, is that it gave more time that you previously may never have ever had available. With that in mind, and the benefits that you've spoken of that came from having this time, is that something going forward that you would always wish to have or aim to have?
Well, it depends, because it's how you use time.
Right. Fair. Yeah, fair.
And also it depends, because when you have all the time in the world, as they say, it's also sometimes against the result, because you are avoiding to finalize things. And this is also a trap. So you have in your mind to say that at some point I have to finalize my thoughts, because else you are just going into madness and altering everything again and again, and so you lose the track of the original idea that you had, especially in creation, music creation. But of course, also the opposite is not good. If you have really limited time and a lot of things, of different things to do on the same timeline, so also you are not negatively affected. So it's a matter of how you use the time that you have, not to only have a great lot of time.
Is it as easy as you make it sound these days for you to put that full stop on your ideas and the creativity part of things?
It sounds easy because we have passed through it. When we were inside of it, it was hell, because you can imagine that we had a lot of pressure to make something better than the previous album, that we felt that it was our strongest release until then. And also it is our first album with a new label, Nuclear Blast. Awesome. Also, of course, another big burden to make something really impressive start, you know. And all this pressure, of course, produced emotions, and then it's how we used those emotions inside the music. So everything now everything that as we see that fell into place and everything went well, now it sounds easy, but it wasn't.
It's easy. It's great to be able to look back and go, okay, that was difficult then, but you're at this stage. We are a little over a month away from the album release, so all that work's done. Now it's this part of work. It's the press and it's the interviews and it's the promotion. Is that an aspect that you enjoy?
Yes, because it's like finally, specifically for this album that took so long to be finalized, it's like a celebration. So it's like the things that we wanted to share with you, with the media, with our fans, with everybody, our music, our lyrics, everything were postponed for so long. So now that we have the chance to provide everything, it's a celebration for us, because we really celebrate the fact that we passed through this situation, and here is what we created.
Yes, and it's nice just to enjoy the ride at this stage and getting to that point when the full album can be heard by the fan base, of course.
Exactly.
Do you see yourselves as being a pillar of consistency? And is that an important thing for your fan base, regardless of, say, the state of things, whatever it might be? Septicflesh will always deliver.
That's what we want to. And we strive to do it. We are very harsh to ourselves. Each time we are when we're creating something new, we feel that we are against ourselves, you can say. We have to surpass what we have done. So it's a process. And through all this process, we are consistent. We never stop until we feel that this is it, you know. So we work again and again. Of course, it is also a matter of inspiration, but we are lucky as everybody in the band contributes ideas and songs, and so there is always someone in the band to be there and push the band. Maybe, for instance, at some point, I'm not so focused to create something. It's natural, But when somebody else in the band takes the place and contributes, then he also pushes you. And you surpass your initial stage of uncertainty. And so it's something that, like a chain, you can say, when the chain reaction, when the reaction initiates, then gradually it builds up and you have energy. And then all this energy is a matter to be put to the right direction and have the result that you want.
Incredible. I love that. And particularly everybody pushing each other, even at this stage of your career, it's still an incredible achievement to be able to do that. But not only that, you talked about the pressure that was felt surrounding working on this album and following up the previous one, such strong work. But what about the challenge? The challenge to ultimately, as an artist, to keep pushing yourselves forward, to push the limits of your imagination. Was that any more difficult? Was that something you found you were very comfortable with this time?
I think that this time was the worst because of the whole uncertainty of things, because we have passed through many years of this strive, and it's a continuous fight. And it's different when you are new to the fight, where you are and different when you are a veteran. Of course, also it's you learn to avoid blows that are fatal, but it's not the point. The point is to create something really strong and interesting. And so I think that now that we are more matured, and we know how to get at the direction that we want, more faster than when you're at your starting point. And so, for instance, we have those two really powerful yet different elements, the symphonic and the metal element. And so when we started attempting to merge them, to make a marriage between those two elements, we tried a lot of stuff that didn't work at the beginning. And gradually we reached to the stuff that worked, and then we said, okay, this works. Now, after all those years, we really we have the feeling what will not work. So we skip the phase of losing precious time with no outcome. So this is helpful, really helpful for us. And actually, I think that every musician, every artist has to be focused to his emotions, because actually music is not okay. There is logic, there is order, but it's not everything about mathematics. So you have to be really focused to the emotions, because what you want to achieve is to create emotions for everybody that will listen to the song.
Do you think you've done that here? Because personally, now I've heard the album, and I think it's a particularly creative height for Septicflesh. In particularly, an example of your burgeoning imagination is something like the Salvation story. Can you tell us where that kind of idea grows from, and how you're able to then take that, what is a very big idea, and condense it as you do?
This is the main difficulty. When you have many ideas, and ideas that demand a lot of space to be evolved, and you don't have the specific space, because if we developed all ideas, then we would have 9 albums in all. Especially with the stories, that there are a lot of different stories to be told. So this is the main difficulty, how to trim down stuff in order to reach to something that is inside the limitations of an album and on a song, of course, while not losing the essence of what you are creating. This is also a part that demands a lot of time, because for instance, when I have a complete story in my mind, I have the whole story written down. So it's not that I create 10 paragraphs and that's it. This is the lyrics. Maybe sometimes it's a whole short novel with words.
Fantastic.
It is what I call a pool of ideas. It's a paper or inside my computer a Word document that I write stuff and keep writing. And at the first phase, I don't restrict myself at all. I just let loose my imagination and write down stuff. And then when I have all this in front of me, I have to find out from where to start and where to end. Where to end. But it is also a matter of combining the proper songs, because sometimes I create stories that are not into songs, because when we create the songs, I feel that the specific story doesn't fit to the song or to the atmosphere that we create, because I think it's really important to have a combination of things. We will never create a grim song and have happy lyrics upon it, for instance. So when the songs start to take flesh, then I make the most important decisions about which story will be used and what songs are more efficient to provide this story. So to answer your question about salvation, indeed, salvation, that it is the story is told from Hierophant and Self-Eater, those two songs. I divided the story, part 1 and part 2. Also, we put those two songs together in the album, so you listen to the whole story from start to end. It is also important not to lose, the image in your mind. I had this basic inspiration about the character, the Hierophant. Also, I felt that the most important part of the story was his drive to achieve something that was really important for him. He was obsessed about reaching out to his God, to a deity, to something above, and be an actual Hierophant. But the whole concept was that as he followed whatever the others told him to do, it was not working. And so it turned him upside down. It's like love turns into hate, you can say. And this is the core of the story. Things that makes us obsessed, and we do anything to achieve them, even if going really against what initially we wanted to do.
It is an incredible story. I love that it's spread across those two tracks as well. And it is a continued great example of something that I think Septicflesh have always done, which is when it comes to lyrical content specifically, you like to make your fans think. There's a lot deeper meaning, messages, and stories to be told. Was that still something you were very comfortable and excited and energetic to do on this new album?
Yeah, of course. It's really important to create layers, not only on the music, but also with the lyrics. because we consider this an art that combines different arts, not only music. There are some bands that don't care a lot about the lyrics, for instance, or their covers. We care about everything that is connected to our art. And we feel that we owe to make something really interesting to ourselves first, of course, but also to our fans that are used to have something with depth. Yes. And it is also about providing material that will not just entertain you for 5 seconds and that's it, that you will return, and each time you return, you gain something more. Maybe you feel that you unlock some secrets at some points. Also, it's really important to make a connection as a listener. So I don't find a good idea to just tell everything and just give the food prepared and ready, because I want the listener to incorporate his own emotion and thoughts to the lyrics, so that it feels more relatable.
Yeah. I think that makes complete sense as well. Ultimately, whatever your perspective might be and how you're telling said story, if someone can take something from it, particularly an emotional state, surely that's the best thing ever.
Yeah, because as I told you, music is about creating emotions.
Yes.
At its core. Also art in general. If you fail to create emotions, then you fail.
Yeah.
Simply as that. Okay, maybe you create something that people will shake their head, but this is a more primitive kind of stuff.
As I said already, I've had a pleasure hearing the album a few times already, and I think it's a masterpiece. I love it. Personally, though, I'm very excited to hear what the wider audience. I'm one person. I can't wait to hear what everybody else thinks of the album. Specifically, certain tracks, Self-Eater, because of the second part of Salvation Story, and the finale, A Dreadful Muse. For you, what is a track from Modern Primitive that you're most excited to share with the fans?
Difficult question, because each track has something different to provide. Although there is a consistency in the music and in the atmosphere of the songs, that you feel that you are listening to the same album. There are some different elements that differentiate the songs. Yes. And for instance, Modern Primitives, the song has some really advanced metal, heavy metal stuff, not only death metal stuff, and some intersections with 12-string guitars that really feel like a new element to Septicflesh. And so, songs like this, or as you mentioned, the last song, that it is also, I think, kind of updated with the riffing, and it seems more modern, you can say, at more modern territory for Septicflesh. I think that these songs, I'm waiting to see the reactions, because the other songs, the more common as for Septicflesh, okay, we more or less we can understand what will happen. Yep. But with the more radical songs, also Coming Storm is a really, I think, really powerful song, and the way that the orchestra is used is highly advanced. It's unlike whatever we have done in the past, combining orchestration and metal music, and also really, really extreme song and really fast, at least for the first part of the song. So, I'm really curious to see the reactions for these songs.
The answer is simple. Just to listen to the full thing when it's out from beginning to end as many times as you possibly can. You're going to have a great time with it rather than picking the individual tracks. Last one for you. Last question for you then. 32 years of Septicflesh, some intense shifts in the music industry. You've been through, seen a lot of changes from the rise of streaming services and all of that. The question, I guess, is how have you, Septicflesh in general, been able to adapt and thrive as these years have ticked on by?
Well, indeed, we faced change upon change. For instance, we faced the change from LP, from vinyl to CD. That was a really big change that affected also the sales, everything, you know, the way of the market that worked until then. Then we faced the change with the digital world. And especially now, after the COVID, it's 100% more important than it was in the past.
Yeah.
So gradually we had to adapt everything to the evolution of the media and the musical industry, you can say.
Yeah.
You have to adapt, because if you don't adapt, then you end up outside. And it's not something that you deserve when you strive so hard and you put so much energy, so much passion to your work. You have to adapt, and you have also to say to yourself that no matter the means of communicating your music, the important stuff is your music. I don't care if you listen to it from the radio, from your PC, from whatever, from CD, from vinyl. Whatever means brings the music, it's important because it's a bridge that connects music with people.
On that wonderful last words, we'll call this time in this interview. Sotiris, thank you so much for taking the time to do this again. I absolutely appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon and help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?